What's up, everybody? How we doing? Happy Thursday. So happy to be here. As always, I had an amazing day today. Actually, I parked my office at the beach and I made a YouTube at the beach for you guys with some of my thoughts. I've been really strategizing and thinking about these markets lately and just exactly where I believe we're at. I summarized a lot of what Rob's been saying about the TA and combined that with a lot of macro factors plus some theories. Today, we're going to do a little bit more strategizing and theorizing and maybe a little bit of tinfoil hat stuff. But anyway, I hope you guys are having a wonderful week. It's been an amazing week at that. And we have a lot of big announcements coming very, very soon. So on that note, guys, I'm just going to jump right into it, into the news of the day, which is CZ, Binance's ex-CEO, founder, co-founder, all of that has been pardoned by President Trump. And that's a huge thing for the industry. And I'm going to tell you how I believe that ties in to exactly where we are in the market and why that could lead to Bitcoin's next explosive move. I think we're very, very close to that, closer than most may think, which is why I added the title today of Bitcoin's next move will shock the market. I know it sounds like a generic title, but I actually mean it. And it'll either be a shock because people didn't expect that it could go down lower to like the low 90,000s or mid 90,000s to 100K, like we've been talking about on this channel for a very long time. Or it could shock the market to the aggressively to the upside, and people aren't positioned because they've just been fading it, packing up, and going home because they see that on their timeline. They see everybody bearish. I don't want you to be shocked either way, and neither scenario has to be long-term bearish, in my opinion. The only long-term bearish indicator that we've seen with Rob is if we break structure on the weekly RSI, because there's a lot of bearish divergence in the weekly RSI. If we go down below that 44 level and the low 40 levels, then maybe we'll have a much deeper correction. But even then, I don't believe that this bear market has to be like a traditional 4-year cycle market. I believe maybe it'd be 5 to 6 months. And much more shallow because we haven't had a blow off top. And if we don't have a blow off top, we don't need a blow off bottom, so to speak, right? So let me know where you guys are tuning in from. Let me know how your week's been going, how you're feeling, and what you think about CZ being pardoned. I know people think a lot of different things about Binance, but it is a big deal for the industry. And I'm going to talk to you about why right now. So I'm going to share my screen because you guys need to see this. Okay, I've got theories about this and I've got a thesis. I know that somebody said the other day that liked the thesis. I'm going to show you more points to support that thesis. Now, it could be invalidated, but like I said, I'm preparing for all 3 scenarios, right? So let's just talk about, the first scenario that I keep thinking may happen, and based on many different factors, which is that we do break bullish, right? And we do get that all-time high imminently. What's up, Magnus? Hey, DJ and Brian in the house. Happy Thursday, guys. How you guys doing? How are you feeling? Are you stressed about this market? Do you feel like you're well positioned? Do you feel like, dang, I need to go get some more cash? Like, what are your thoughts right now? I just want to know where you guys are at, because I know I sound like a broken record. I come on here every single day now for 2 weeks when we're doing lives Monday through Friday, and I say reasons why I believe Bitcoin's bullish. Okay, so until proven otherwise, I'm going to continue to do that. Now, I'm going to share my screen because there's important news that we need to dive into. So, okay, I believe you can see it now. I'm going to put my photo down there. Okay, great. So first things first, and this is really important too, and this all ties into the timeline, guys. As to yesterday, we discussed that we're in the 9th inning, the 9th law of Bitcoin, meaning we typically have throughout most of the bull markets, 9 dips, and after the 9th dip is when we get that blow off top. Now, there's a lot of reasons to make me believe that we could be very mature in this cycle. I don't want to sit here and say, oh, we've got like 3 to 4 years of endless up and to the right. I think we could get a shallow bear market, but I don't believe we've seen the end of this bull market yet. So this is one of the reasons. Look at this. President Trump to meet with President Xi next Thursday. Okay, so this could be happening as early as next week. Now, let me take you then to the next piece of news, which is the Kobisi letter. I really like this, and I went over this on one of my YouTubes, okay? And they wrote a Trump tariff playbook. So the last time the Trump tariffs came, I was on with Kevin O'Leary, the shark from Shark Tank, on my podcast, and he was saying that the tariffs were noise and they're just negotiation tactics and all of that. And it did play out that way. And so this Kobisi letter has been tracking this for a while, and I want to show you guys this. Okay, they spent the last 10 months analyzing every single tariff development. Now, we believe step 10 in our tariff playbook is very near. Stocks are extending gains with Nasdaq 100 now at 1% today and S&P 500 just 20 points away from a record high. President Trump has confirmed an October 30th in-person meeting with President Xi. Okay, what is that, guys? Does that ring a bell? I told you guys that the stats for the month of October were that we generally see the low within the first week or two, which we didn't. We saw it on the 16th, okay? But the high for October after a green September usually comes in the last 3 days of October. So this is all kind of lining up, okay? So let's go back to those 10 rules. These are the 10 rules. We just spoke about number 9. We spoke about number 8 and 9 on one of my last YouTubes. After the Monday Open, Treasury Secretary Besson appears on live TV and reassures investors. You remember they were going back and forth like, don't worry about tariffs. It's all good. The markets are going to be calm next week. We got that step, okay? Step number 9. Over the next 2 to 4 weeks, various members of Trump administration tease a trade deal. And we've been getting that. We've been getting a lot of chop and a lot of back and forth about what's happening with China and how it's going to be okay, how it's not, how it is. It's been like off and on, right? So the Kabisi letter believes that we are right here. Trump announces a new trade deal and the stock market hits a record high. Okay. And then repeat from step 1. So this is just like the tariff playbook. So we're in inning 9. The 9th inning of Bitcoin, potentially the most parabolic run to come, potentially number 10 here on the Trump tariff playlist, right? And suddenly now we are getting, also before I talk about CZ, we got Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong saying momentum for crypto market structure legislation is at an all-time high. I sat down with Senate Democrats and Republicans who want to get this done. Is he teasing the Clarity Act? Are we going to get the Clarity Act soon, like Charles Hoskinson predicted? All of these bullish things that are sort of lingering there in the background, they're festering, you guys, they're festering. I just can't believe that all of that is about to happen and we're about to tank massively. Now, like Rob said yesterday, we don't speak in absolutes, but this is just my theory until, otherwise proven wrong, right? Until we break structure, until we go back to 90K or 100K, and then we'll reassess how do we recover from there, what's happening at that time. But right now, I believe this is what could be playing out, okay? Binance founder CZ says he's deeply grateful for today's pardon to President Trump. I'll do everything we can to help make America the crypto capital. Oh my God. Why is this so significant? I'm trying to read between the lines, okay? And I'm going to tell you guys about a theory, and you might think that this is crazy, but I'm going to tell you about it now because just for a moment. So you remember when we were talking about where I talked about the theory of gold. And ever since I saw it on Swan's Bitcoin, I just can't stop thinking about it. So gold is sort of like, just cruising along for years. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we get this massive, massive rally, almost as if governments were buying, right? I mean, it was absolutely insane. But that was predicated by that massive liquidation event that happened just a few weeks ago, erasing 19 billion from the crypto markets. And what if, I don't know, okay? These are just theories. And I know that Binance is the biggest liquidity monster in the world, okay? What if they coordinated and because the US, so the original theory said that governments would put pressure on the price of gold to skyrocket up to reabsorb the debt and recollateralize the system quietly in the background. But they needed to keep Bitcoin down, the uncontrolled asset, until they got what they needed to get done with gold. I know this sounds crazy. It's just a fun thing to do on the channel. Okay, so let me do it with you. Then they go to CZ and they say, hey, we need a liquidation event. And then you saw that Binance had a lot of problems with lawsuits and saying that they were the ones that triggered this mass cascade and all of that. But then suddenly I told my husband this as soon as we got this massive liquidation event. I was like, what if CZ gets pardoned now? Like, what if now Binance suddenly has a presence in the US again? Are they working together? I don't know, guys. All I know is that could be what's happening. And that also would be another factor to point to. We're closer to the banana zone than everybody thinks. I truly believe we are. I think that there's a big, big move coming. And I want you guys to be ready for it if that happens, because that can be life-changing, right? Both trading and long-term investing. So let's go back to that theory. So CZ's been pardoned. Does that now mean that soon they're going to take the restrictions away, that Americans are going to be able to access exchanges like Binance, perps, futures trading? Does that mean we're going to start opening up everything and making it a fair market again and not just Coinbase dominant and all the US players dominant, that we're going to come together and that we're going to see that presence of Binance again, that would be absolutely amazing, right? And so then I could see them, okay, we helped you, US, now you let us back in, and now we're one big happy crypto world. All right. So that is just one of the theories. I don't know. Let me guys know what you think so far. But Crypto Rover says bullish for CZ, Bitcoin, and America. And I truly believe so, guys. I truly believe so. And there's been a lot of questions about like, what should we hold in our portfolio during this time, and what am I holding in my portfolio? How, because alts have been hit and decimated so hard. If Bitcoin were to go back down to that 90,000 or $100,000 area, I mean, people would definitely capitulate. That would be bad for alts. We'd get a massive bleed on alts, and I think that would just be the last straw for most people. The sort of like, you go through the desperation and the anger. I should pull that market cycle chart up again, and just like the total despair, like I've given up, I've thrown in the towel. That's usually when the markets turn around. So we could get that one last flush out. So be prepared for that. And if you're a holder, just close your portfolio, walk away, and touch some grass. Okay, but there are ways to optimize, right? If you think that you've got lower cap coins in your portfolio or moon bags that have been hit so hard that you don't know what to do with them, you might want to reevaluate your portfolio and trade those for winners. Now, when I say winners, I mean the top 10, right? Cardano, XRP, HBAR, maybe focusing on cryptos made in America, because that's a huge narrative now, right? And they're teasing again. So suddenly also, look at all these weird things that are happening. Suddenly also, we start regurgitating this news that Eric Trump said that, all US made cryptos are going to be tax-free, capital gains tax-free. And why? Who is starting that? Narratives are started on the flip of a dime in crypto. Like literally they can spin up narratives as fast as they unspin them. So it just feels like things are heating up, and we have to pay attention to all of the details. So let me know what you think about all this, you guys. Brian says he got a bag of Meteora. What is Meteora? Tell me more. JD, what's up? What's up? Boschman, hey, how's it going? Good to see you here. Real Ice Bear, how you doing? Not until Senator Warren figures out how to tax us to death in crypto. Oh yeah, God, she's got to go. She has got to go. If you agree with me, let me know, because man, we need all the anti-crypto crusade people out of the government. We can't have people holding us back. Remember, when I talk about this a lot, the internet flourished and we got companies in the US like Amazon, Uber, Google, because President Clinton, the Clinton administration, let it rip. He didn't feel insecure enough to be like, hey, I got to get in front of all this and overregulate and make sure these companies don't like start taking off. No, he let it rip. And that was, so clearly this is a bipartisan thing. It doesn't matter if it's right or left. It just matters what their, policies are. And policy is everything. And because we have that positive policy and that positive innovation flourishing in the US, we got all those US-based companies, right, during the dot-com boom. So that's what we need to see happen here for crypto. Okay, all right, I need to know what Meteor is. And the Clash family, man, you were crazy yesterday in a good way. Market will heat up very soon. So we did do a Clash analysis yesterday. I definitely have to talk to George and, see if we can do some sort of collaboration. I'd like to help if it's something quality and it's getting people involved in crypto and growing a community. Let's go Clash. That's all I have to say. So end wars, China deal, and crypto policy passes. Boom. You got it, Red Bullet. I don't know if I've seen you before, but that is exactly what I'm saying. Let me know if you get that in the comments. Why are we bearish? Why? I just don't see it. I see all the factors. I see this like this rubber band stretching. And the longer it goes, the farther it shoots off, right? Because of all of this momentum. And I'm not speaking in absolutes. So, if something happens and I get proven wrong, I get proven wrong. But this is just my theory as of right now. And it seems to be close to playing out. So close I can feel it. Okay. So I'm going to take a look now at another factor. I'm going to keep giving you guys factors, okay? Because I know a lot of people get triggered and they say that I'm too bullish. And I don't doubt it. Like, it's fine. You can say that. But it's just I've been around the block quite a few times here in crypto. And I just spotted a lot of things that don't make sense to me to be going into a bear market right now. Realized bear rate cuts and US government reopening too. Exactly. All of this stuff happening all at once. We're about to get that next rate cut end of the month. Well, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like to me. All the indicators are on the floor. Now I've told you my macro thoughts and my tinfoil hat theory. I'm going to go to the charts in a minute. Rate cuts are priced in already. I don't know, Brian. I don't know how much is priced in here. I think there's a lot of fear in the market right now. Maybe rate cuts themselves, but maybe not everything else. Like the quantitative easing coming to effect and the quantitative tightening being closed. I mean, they've been extracting from the balance sheet this entire time. And I don't think that's priced in. That's for sure. Such a great attitude. Yeah, well, I know it pisses a lot of people off to be positive and bullish right now, but this is just what I feel and I want you guys to be ready for it, right? I don't want you to be sucked into all the negative sentiment if that's not what's going to happen. XRP is going to boom. That's my thoughts on that. CPR tomorrow up slightly. Yeah, inflation is sticky. It's sticky, and that's part of the problem. That's part of the problem, and that's why there needs to be a new answer to it, which is not debasement, right? It's not print more money. It's maybe recollateralize with gold. I don't know. I'm just saying. So let me share my screen because I'm going to show you more facts. Okay, I'm going to show you more things in the charts that are like statistics or things that have happened in previous cycles to get you excited about this, or at least to show you what I'm looking at and why I'm so excited. So crypto fear and greed, guys. We are right down here right now in the 20s. We kissed the teens here. Well, yeah, back in February 20, not quite. The last time we got into the teens was over here in 2022. So we don't get down into this extreme fear a lot. And when we build these clusters of extreme fear, we tend to have like a skyrocket up and to the right. So after we're in this extreme fear in June 2022, we skyrocketed all the way up and then we came back down and we've been forming sort of a base here of support in fear this year. And like I said, it doesn't happen often. So the fact that we're in fear and also extreme fear in a bull market says a lot to me, right? That is usually a good time to buy. It's just a very simple indicator, right? It's just like if there's fear in a bull market and you haven't established a downtrend, time to buy, right? Not financial advice, of course, but that's how I see it. And also, Treasury Secretary Bessent says America's golden age is underway and the best is yet to come. And there's so much talk about bubbles and how the bubble's about to burst. But I just think that things are different because, there was a lot of limitations during the dot-com boom. I mean, there was only so much the internet could do. We didn't have the free transfer of value. You see, our system is being up, the entire system, archaic dinosaur system that is the legacy financial system is being uprooted and changed and upgraded. And that was not what happened with the internet. And that's why I believe there's more gas in the tank here because we've got AI, crypto, robotics, multi-omics sequencing, which could potentially change the way we live forever because it could cure diseases and for the first time make pharmacies the cure more profitable than the disease. And I'm so passionate about this because it's just insane. We have 5 technologies coming together. This is what it says in the ARK Invest report. 5 technologies that are coming together that are going to make our economy boom. The last time this happened, there were 3. It was the combustible engine, it was electric, and it was like one other thing. And they were incredible, but and that made our economy and our GDP soar. But that'll be nothing compared to these 5 technologies. And that's why I believe we're going to have this golden age that Treasury Secretary Bessent talks about. It just seems inevitable to me. There's some funny stuff going on too. Peter Schiff challenges Binance founder CZ to a Bitcoin versus gold debate. He is a funny guy, man. He's very, very stubborn. I don't know. It looks like gold may have topped for the moment and is trickling into Bitcoin, and that maybe my theory might be playing out. Okay, but I do believe gold will overtake Bitcoin. In fact, Rob Powell, esteemed macroeconomist, says that probably that could happen by 2032, that we could have $100 trillion market. And I think that would put Bitcoin at well over $1 million. So we're going to have to take a look at those numbers at the end there. But also, Robinhood lists on BNB. So let's go back to the coins that I'm going to buy or that are in my portfolio for a minute. And I want you guys to tell me what's in your bag and what's your strategies. Okay, but it might not be a bad idea to convert your losers into the coins that are going to boom first, right? We know this transition of capital. We go from Bitcoin to Ethereum to large caps to mid caps. What if they come out and they say, U.S. made cryptos get all of the tax-free crypto tax-free gains? Okay, I'm so excited I can't even talk tonight. What if they come out and say that? Are you prepared? Do you have a bag of that? Also, exchange tokens. Why has BNB run so much? People say that it's manipulation, that it's wash trading. Maybe there's some element of that, but it's bringing in fees. And it's just, there's incredible activity happening on the chain. Focus on the chains that are bringing in activity, that are bringing in revenue, and crypto that is actually getting real traction, right? Because the longer we go on in the cycle, the more the coins that are actually doing things are going to shine. And we're going to be less like hype driven, and there will be meme coins will fly, which is why actually Rob, our lead analyst here at the Hive, that's my daily reminder to tell you to join the Hive. It'll be open for everyone for probably like a week more, and then we're going to gate it. So we want you guys to get in now while you can. And Rob just sent me his first two 10x Phoenix picks, meaning coins that he believes have 10x potential. And instead of holding those moon bags or holding those very low caps in your long-term bags, why not just try and trade them instead and keep your long-term bags with the solid plays and flip the losers into solid plays and ride those up? I think that could be an interesting strategy. I've flipped some of my coins for ones that are actually doing pretty okay. I actually got into Rob's ENA trade, which is in the Discord right now. Athena, which has to do with Ethereum staking, and it's doing amazing. So consider that, guys. Consider that. What are your thoughts on Theta? Well, what do you think? I am a Theta bull, guys. I've been a Theta bull for many, many years, and they're involved in the infrastructure, the picks and shovels, and those are always typically the plays that do the best over time. Now, we did analyze Theta the other day, and we compared it to Amazon. And Amazon, in its first 10 years, corrected between 50 to 90%. People give up on it. He didn't give a crap about the price. He just kept building. He knew where he was going. He pivoted. It feels like Theta could be doing that, right? With the infrastructure for the AI and the GPUs and the compute and things. It feels like they could be doing that. So I do love Theta. And this year, I think we could hit like $25, even if we get heated, maybe even more. It just depends on what Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin gets a new all-time high, alts will run with it, and it'll be good for alts, right? So we have to that's a theory. So it's all hinging on Bitcoin now, but I believe that more it's going to be like those horses to win the race rather than all the rising tide lifts all ships, as we've seen in previous cycles, right? You could just like throw darts and hit all the winners. So that's what I think is happening in cycle. You buy below 30 and sell above 70 on the fear and greed. I like that, Brian. It keeps it super simple. I mean, it's just tried and true. If there is fear in a bull market, that's when you hold your breath and you plug your nose and you buy. And the dips that make you sick, you buy them. That's just been one of my general rules throughout these years. For Bitcoin, this has played out 9 times since the fear and greed first started. Yeah. Okay. There we get that number 9 again. We're in the 9th inning, the 10th rule of Trump's tariff playbook. Bitcoin, ETH, ADA, and XRP. That is a solid portfolio. Now, I see you don't like Theta. That's okay. Not everybody has to like Theta, but that's why you diversify, right? And you get exposure to different categories, right? I wouldn't also make your portfolio too deep. I would consolidate my portfolio, at least my long term, and learn how to trade instead, right? So get exposure to the the blue chips of each category and maybe into some mid tier, and then go and trade the rest, because that's how you're really going to amplify your gains. And then you can put the gains you make from trading into your long-term portfolio, right? Flip the losers. Now you're talking. That's it. Flip the losers. That's what I'm trying to say. Thank you for helping put the words in my mouth. Already flipped from 62 to 17 coins. I think that's a really good move, Brian. And I also have a ton of coins in my portfolio. I've been consolidating a little bit. And I'm having a little bit different of a strategy based on how the cycle is going, and also loading up on those US based coins, right? Just in case that comes to fruition. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. But let's get back to more facts, guys, because I don't want to just talk my book here. I want to show you why I feel this way. I'm not just echoing things that I've heard. I'm actually actively putting together a strategy. Clash family back in the chat. It's time for a party. In fact, tomorrow I'm going to pull up with my all-time high cocktail. And I want you guys to all come with your favorite drink, okay? And Rob's going to be on. This is I'm a co-founder of this vodka. It's called ATH, All Time High Vodka, and it has a crypto element, right? So you'll be able to tap the top and win anywhere from $1 to $1,000 in our token, which is also ATH. So we're gonna have to have a little bit of a brawl with Aether, which is also ATH. No, just kidding. But in real talk, guys, like we're gonna do so much with this, and we plan on bringing in mass like normies into this. We're in Costco, okay, which is very hard to do, multinational. We're going to put a Bitcoin on the top of this eventually and do just a mass like amazing campaign, okay? So I'm just really excited for that. I tell you, I'm going to have an ATH cocktail tomorrow. So bring your cocktails. Rob is going to be on. He's going to be going over all of his best setups, and he's going to let us know exactly where we're at, if anything changed. But yes, I am excited. AI agents. I know, Brian. AI agents were a huge thing right before we had the crash. So they were basically like the top of the last altcoin run before we had I think it was November 2024. And since then, it's been very lackluster, and AI agents were like the top of the bubble. Now, I do believe AI is going to come back, but agents, maybe not so much. I do hold AI 16Z. I met one of the core developers. I think they're doing really interesting things. But I think that craze might be dying down a little bit, which is why I say hold infrastructure. I hold Tau, which I think is an amazing AI infrastructure, Theta, right? Like go to the blue chips and then dabble in the small ones. Don't get your portfolio wrecked because you're trying to hit that like 65x. You can do it, but there's different ways to do it that are better. And that's why we opened the Hive Discord. And that's why Rob is going to be posting when it's amazing conditions all of the time. And you're going to be able to ride the wave, guys. Just ride that wave and then put your profits into Bitcoin and do it right, right? Or put it into your long-term plays or whatever you need to do. Pay off some bills, take your family on vacation. It's going to be amazing. Just envision it now. Like, I want you guys to what's that word? I can't even think of it right now. When you think of a future vision and you can see yourself there, I want you to do that because that is actually, it's tried and true way to help you get that mentality. Nice. Okay. So Megan, what's up? All this is exactly what I needed to hear. Oh, good. Rob can't be on today. So sorry for that, guys. He is out touching grass himself with his family, but I thought, I don't want to skip this. I feel like sometimes you just need to hear it. You just need a little bit of a push and somebody to keep you going. So that's what I just decided to do today, guys. And I hope it's helping because that's manifest. Thank you, Megan. Wow. I'm tired, you guys. It's like 11 o'clock at night almost in Spain, but I just wanted to get on here anyway. So thank you for helping me think of that word. I flipped all my agents into Solana. See, that's a good strategy. And you don't have to think of it like, okay, I'm down 80%, so I can't sell. No, that's not the thought process. The thought process is get into one that's gonna go up faster and then later rotate into those smaller caps, right? Like be able to start picking out the narratives, understand how the flow of crypto goes. And we're gonna help you with that in the Hive Discord, which is a link in the description below. Also, again, I'm going to remind you about BYDFi. There is no KYC. You just sign up with Gmail. Massive deposit bonus going on right now. And if you sign up for iTrustCapital, which is the sponsor of this channel, so shout out to them, guys. They're really supporting us, and I love their mission, which is to help people retire and retire nicely with crypto. So you can buy and sell and trade crypto tax-free within your crypto IRA. Right? So your Roth IRA, which you can transfer $7,000 post-tax money per year. Just imagine what that will do. So just on a tangent here, if you watch the Ramsey show, I kind of like that. And he said that this one lady, she hadn't invested anything for her retirement. She was really upset about it. She was 50 years old. And he said, if you invest $1,000 a month into like typical, traditional financial vehicles, you can have $500,000 by the time you're 65. Okay. So imagine if you did that with Bitcoin, where you could be in 10 to 15 years. If you just paid yourself a little, transferred it to iTrust, they're one of the biggest and the most trusted in the game, okay? And you get $100 sign-up bonus today. If you fund your account, you use the code Megan9, that's also in the discount. I am doing that. Let's be smart now. Let's optimize our portfolios. Let's take advantage of this opportunity and pass it along to the next generation. I mean, we have the chance to do what we always dreamed of doing. And when you think about, the dot-com boom and all the property they bought for so cheap, this is that right now. We are not too late. We are just getting started. And all you have to be is patient. People in the stock market, they had to wait 10 to 15 years for Amazon play out, man. Like, what if you have to wait like a couple of more years? I'm not saying we're not getting something amazing this cycle, but just think about that. Just back up for a minute and think about how you want your life to be. You have to fight hard for that, but it will go. And it's not going to be like traditional financial rails. This is the fastest growing technology adoption curve in history. Like BlackRock's most profitable vehicle right now is Bitcoin. They could potentially be called a Bitcoin company. That is insane. Okay. It's taking over and it's going to be embedded in our financial system and in our entire lives. And soon it won't be called crypto. It will just be our system, right? We won't call it the crypto world. It'll just be our world. And that's coming sooner than you guys think, right? Sooner than I think, sooner than we all can imagine. Yeah, 89%. Okay. 80%. I'm not sure what you're talking about there, Brian. I know I said something about that, but I'm giving you guys my stream of thought today because I believe it's important to get your head in the game. All right. I'm going to show you a few more things before then I'm going to wrap this up, but I just want to show you my screen one more time here about a few other things that I'm looking at because I'm really excited about them. Okay. So Binance just got listed on Robinhood, BNB. Also Hype just got listed. I am starting to get more exposure to Hype because if Binance is trying to kill it in such a way, or at least challenge it, they know that there's something there. They have very long-term vision. I mean, I met CZ and I really was close with the Binance team, and they have a really robust vision and they see things early. So I think that getting some exposure to Hype and maybe even Aster is not a bad idea right now. long term. So I'm also looking to do that. Now, back to gold versus Bitcoin. So this is 2015 to 2025. Everybody needs to study this. So here back in 2016, fun to move towards Bitcoin. So this is gold up here, right? Oh, no, sorry. This is gold down here, and this is Bitcoin. You can see as soon as gold has peaked, the money has seemingly flown into Bitcoin. Look at that parabolic rise. Okay, same thing over here. In 2020, yeah, pandemic year. Gold peaked right up here, right before Bitcoin's massive ascent. And what came right before that? Extreme fear. Look at this V right here. That is the teens kind of fear. That is like gut wrenching fear. Like this is over fear. I remember Bitcoin was $3,000 then. Did any of you buy Bitcoin at that time? Did you buy alts? I remember I had a board, a vision board, because that's what I do. Like, okay, I'll tell you guys, I have like these stickers that I stick on the wall. You can write on them. And so I essentially could write on the wall. I did this back in the day when I was really planning my portfolio in the beginning. And my brother's like, man, you could look like a serial killer with all of that writing that you have. And I thought it was funny because I just love to visualize things. Okay. But yeah, so did any of you buy crypto back then? Because I remember on that board, my ETH target was $150. Can you believe that? That was just 2020 for literally 2025. This space is moving fast. Don't fade it and don't give up. Okay. Here's the peak. Here's the parabolic run. Here we are now. Look at this and look at this monster. Look how much bigger this is than both of these. Okay. It's just engulfs them. And here we are in Bitcoin, just slowly, beautifully stair stepping up. Okay. Are we on the verge of that next parabolic ascent? I think so. I think we could be right there. And this is Bitcoin versus gold versus global liquidity M2. So the blue is global liquidity. The yellow here is gold, which are both skyrocketing out of control. And then you have Bitcoin that's just kind of like consolidating down and to the right. And remember, time consolidation is the worst type of, or time capitulation is the worst type of capitulation because it's the one that weighs on everybody. You know, you get one massive drop and then you sort of just like, okay, it's over, is better in a way than just like slowly bleeding into the right, which is what a lot of the altcoins have been doing. Now I'm going to leave you with this. Okay. It's thoughts from Raoul Pal, because I want you to like go home today or at your work, wherever you are, just try to like take the time to sit down and come up with a strategy. Okay. I think it needs explaining that although I see an elongated cycle, it doesn't mean my analysis is right. The breadth and depth of macro crypto analytic frameworks I've had since 2021 is massive, and I'm happy with the probabilities. Okay. So at GMI, we have done tremendous amounts of work on this. So he's just talking about everything he's done. Over 4,000 charts. So we all need to take lifestyle chips off the table to secure your own future, right? So basically he's saying, I'm guessing I'll take 25 to 30% off into year end, but I don't know yet. So this is all his sort of like strategy. And he's saying, just buy Bitcoin, ETH, and Sol. He's saying the banana zone won't fix your shitty asset allocation. If you've had a decent portfolio, you'll already be up 5x to 10x. So he's saying that everybody who's been betting on the ultra low caps and like coins that are all hype and no substance are down massively. Now, I'm not saying I'm not exposed to that. I had a lot of exposure to that as well. Although I do have a massive blue chip part of my portfolio that has helped keep me afloat. And a lot of my friends and myself and family and stuff that own more Bitcoin than anything else have been okay during these times. So maybe it's time to start adjusting or looking at your portfolio. So if you're newer, don't chase gains. Time is vital in the market. Yes. And that's where patience comes in. Just a little patience, you guys. That's it. I mean, coming into 2030, how can we have all of these predictions that Bitcoin will go to 1 million from credible sources, not just people who want to pump it, like real credible sources? Even Larry Fink from BlackRock says 700,000. Well, then like that's 5 years away from now. Let's go out and hustle and get some money and invest in this market as hard as we humanly can. That's how I feel. So you have 5 years or so to un-F your future. Please don't fuck it up. Okay. Yes. So my work suggests the next 6 to 9 months can change all our lives, but don't bet on it exclusively. This is what I'm trying to say. Okay. This is exactly what I want to say. I believe these next even 3 to 6 months can be life changing for so many people, especially if you learn how to trade and combine that, right? Which is what we're trying to bring to you now. But like, if that doesn't happen for whatever reason, then be patient and stick to a strategy, right? Like, what will you do if not? But I do believe that it's more probable that it happens than anything else. Okay, that's what I want to tell you today. If you want to reduce risk and also play for high prices, considering selling some and buying longer dated calls in due course, where you can only lose your premium. So Ethereum, all the blue chips, that kind of stuff. that being said, I do have some moonbacks. I just want to show you a little bit of Bitcoin now, okay? Just to end this stream on more of a positive note. So as you can see, this is the 1-day MA9, which Rob loves. And he says every time that we break above it, we sort of get these rallies up, and when we're below it, we're down. And it's just been interesting. I've been like looking at this throughout the cycle, and it's been pretty accurate. Now, we are currently holding support above the 200-day MA, and we're above the 9-day MA. And as you can see down here, we've got this weekly stochastic cross on the verge, or just waiting to, sorry, this is the daily. Let me show you the weekly. That's on the verge of having another cross up. And those weekly crosses, they only happen one to two times per year, and usually come with massive momentum to the upside. So when will we get that weekly stochastic cross up? Time will tell, but it's just patience for now. It's patience for now, right? And that's what I'll say. And these are the reasons why I'm bullish. You can see we came down and tested this 50-day MA. And right now, on the macro levers, we're not bearish. We're not bearish yet. So far, the theory is holding strong. And that's just what I'm doing. I'm taking the time to reevaluate, reassess, flip some coins, some losers into winners. Don't be upset about, you're down 70 to 80%. And that's the reason why you're not going to flip, because you need that to come back up and then do its thing. If you sit down and really do the math on the portfolio, and you have, like X amount of percent of your portfolio with 10 moonbag picks, only one of those needs to hit to like make up for all the other losses. But in the meantime, you can hedge your portfolio by having those blue chips. So let's be smart about this, guys. Let's take advantage of this and do the best we absolutely can. Okay. Real person here. No AI, only organic red blood here. California in the building. Oh, Cam, you're from California. I'm from California too. I went to school at Santa Barbara. I love California. So I'll be back for Art Basel in Miami, if any of you guys are going to that. And yes, New Zealand. Wow, Friday morning. He's the guy from the future. Mark, what's up, Mark? Manifest, guys. DJ Brian says he flipped all his agents into Solana. Yep, we got that. So look, it's been an interesting stream. Okay, we will have Rob on again tomorrow. I want you guys to pull up with your coffee, your popcorn, your cocktails, whatever it is, and we're gonna have one hell of a Friday stream. Okay, so 3:30 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. I hope everybody has a fantastic Thursday. Let's end this week off strong and go into the weekend and go do some manifesting. Okay, that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed and have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow.